Quick question. What movie are you watching? Is it the one about the killer who goes on a rampage? Actually, a lot of them are like that. Maybe I should be more specific. Is it the one about the guy who seems like he has no conscience whatsoever? He just goes around doing whatever he wants? What's the difference? I'm not sure exactly. I think it's time to review the differences between psychopath and sociopath. To make things more interesting, we'll discuss characters in entertainment, as well as examples from real life. What separates the two? Do sociopaths really lack a conscience, or is it simply a misconception? We'll find out. But first, make sure you watch until the very end and subscribe to our channel. People who don't ring the notification bell drive us mad. I thought my jokes were bad. We've all seen villains in movies go off the rails. Pop culture has always depicted psychopaths as vicious killers who will stop at nothing to get their way. Take the Joker from The Dark Knight or Norman Bates from Psycho as examples. These sinister characters serve as templates for cinema psychopaths. But are they entirely accurate? Do all psychos have a thirst for blood? Is it possible that Joker just wanted to be left alone? First, we have to dive into what makes psychopaths and sociopaths different from each other. Many people have come to believe that they are one and the same. This is due to the fact that the two conditions actually share common traits. These include the inability to show remorse, a knack for compulsive lying and deception, a consistent display of violence or aggression, disregard for the safety of others. It's estimated that 4% of the world's population are certified sociopaths. An estimated 3% of Americans meet this criteria listed. In order to be diagnosed, a person must be over the age of 18 and have a confirmed history of displaying the above traits. Because of these similarities, experts have molded the two terms into one condition known as Antisocial Personality Disorder, or APD. But what separates the two of them? Are you saying that psychopaths and sociopaths are pretty much the same? What's the point of this video? Stay with us here. There's actually several traits that distinguish them. For one, sociopaths tend to emphasize the antisocial aspect of this disorder. Often living on the fringes of society, many find themselves isolated from the rest of the world. Their low self-esteem tends to develop into a narcissistic personality disorder. They also lack intimacy, making it hard for them to reveal personal details. If they do attempt to enter society, they often face rejection. This makes it difficult for them to hold down a decent job or keep a relationship, as their antisocial tendencies are often too blatant to deny. We see this in movies such as Taxi Driver, where a lonely New York cabbie played by Robert De Niro becomes disgusted with the crime-infested dump his city's turned into. After being rejected by a woman he's crushing on, what seems like his final chance to have a normal life is eliminated. As a result, he snaps and decides to wage war on the streets. Sure, the movie's a classic, but are sociopaths really as violent as they're depicted on screen? Are they inherently dangerous people? Another characteristic that's distinctly sociopath is their tendency to react on impulse. Instead of thinking things through, a sociopath can instantly become unhinged. Think of Joe Pesci's character in Goodfellas, a hot-headed mafia man you wouldn't exactly want to have a drink with. Tick this guy off and he goes crazy. Seeing characters like this, it's no wonder people believe sociopaths are more prone to violence. After all, the word gets used rather lightly. The label of sociopath is often thrown around to describe a person who seemingly lacks a conscience. It might even be used for someone who simply does something mean. How many times have we heard people say, "You know Jasper, he cheated on Becca. The guy's a complete sociopath." It's simply tossed around. On second thought, who's named Jasper in 2019? That guy sounds a little off. You guys should stay away from Jasper. In reality, the stereotype of sociopaths lacking a conscience is a simple misconception. While they are prone to impulsive violence, their conscience is still intact. It's their lack of empathy that keeps them from recognizing how and why their transgressions have hurt people. When their actions are questioned by others, they'll often make up a weak excuse to justify what they've done. A great example is everybody's favorite drug-dealing science nerd, Walter White from Breaking Bad. As the series progresses and more blood is shed, Walter repeatedly mentions that he is dealing drugs in order to provide for his family. While he does eventually reveal that it was all self-indulgent, Walter continually uses this excuse to justify the increasingly drastic measure he's taken to avoid both prison and death. Whether you're a sociopath or not, drugs are never the answer, kids. Another discussion within the psychology community pertains to the factors that create sociopaths. Have you ever heard of the Minnesota twin family study? Researchers from the University of Minnesota examined sets of twins who had been reared apart. Focusing on their environments, the study indicated that around 60% of psychopathy cases are due to an inheritance from their family members. While the debate does still rage on, many suggest that sociopathy is created by one's environment, while psychopathy is said to come from one's genetic makeup. This leaves us the perfect opportunity to discuss psychopaths in detail. While 4% of the world is said to consist of sociopaths, psychopaths are estimated at just 1%. If we're working off the theory of psychopathy being mostly genetic, this tiny percentage may be due to the difficulty of knowing a person's genetic makeup. It may also be due to the fact, and this may startle you, psychopaths are harder to spot. When it comes to blending in with society, psychos make up for the skills sociopaths lack. Psychopaths are much more calm and calculated. They're also more likely to hold high positions in important industries. Did you know that the most common occupations for a psychopath to choose are CEO, lawyer, media figure, salesperson, surgeon? While it's estimated that 10% of CEOs may be psychopaths, the possibility of a psychopath being a surgeon is enough to terrify anyone. With that said, due to their charm, charisma, and manipulation tactics, psychopaths are often very successful in their occupation. Their inability to grow personal attachments to people also helps them keep their eye on the prize, whereas sociopaths easily become attached to people. Their ability to hide in plain sight also helps. Examples of these kind of psychos in entertainment include Gus Fring on Breaking Bad, Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, and Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. While all three have traits that differ from one another, each uses strong manipulation skills and thoughtful logic to calculate their next move. Dexter Morgan on Dexter is possibly the master at this tactic. A serial killer who works as a blood splatter analyst for the police? You'd have to be quite a risk taker. In fact, risk-taking is another quality associated with psychos. While they may coordinate their moves, they certainly love to live on the edge. During a study by Vanderbilt University, researchers told a group of subjects that they were going to receive a cash prize. Those with regular brains got excited. Those with psychopathic brains displayed a much higher level of activity in their nucleus accumbens. This is known as the reward part of the brain, which indicated that the psychopath had an intense impulse to get the cash. Wait, so he gets excited for free money? What a crazy person! Better lock him up! On the topic of the human brain, let's take a second to refer back to the lack of conscience stereotype attributed to sociopaths. Remember how we said sociopaths actually do have consciences, and they just make excuses to justify their actions? A psychopath shows zero remorse of any transgression they make. A very peculiar case is that of 21-year-old Thomas Hemmings. After a night of drinking in 2014, this Australian man knocked on a couple's door to ask if he could use their telephone. Upon letting him in, Thomas pulled out a knife and stabbed the husband and wife. A grisly, cold-blooded murder. When it was all over, Thomas showed zero sense of remorse for what he did. But the real twist in all of this is, Thomas didn't have a history of violence. While many originally pointed to his Asperger's syndrome as the reason for the killing, medical experts stated that he was more likely to be a victim of a violent crime rather than a perpetrator. When asked why he committed the murders, he stated that he simply wanted to know what it was like to kill. Do you think Thomas Hemmings is a psychopath or a sociopath? Sound off in the comments section below, and don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe for more great and downright disturbing content from your bestie. Enjoyed this video? Hit like, share, and subscribe to Bestie. Wait, what kind of bestie would we be if we didn't tell you about our other awesome videos? Go ahead, choose the left or right video and enjoy.